And we're rolling. This is the Three Hacks and a Movie podcast with your co-host Bentley,
Emilio,
and RJ.
And today's movie, I'm going to call it right off the bat. This is some Kino of the highest caliber, as per Emilio's request.
Yep. I've been waiting a very long time to show you guys this movie.
A movie that'll bring an end to the Israel-Palestine crisis. As long as
I wanted to choose this movie because it seemed very appropriate for the times and what's happening on in the world right now. You know, this movie could end the war, bro. We just need to send tens of thousands of copies throughout Israel and Gaza, and maybe Lebanon. I don't know, but
and Egypt and any country that borders Israel,
essentially, yeah. So today's pick, it was my pick, and it is the Adam Sandler magnum opus, if you will. No, I'm just kidding. It's my magnum opus. That You Don't Mess with the Zohan, which is, I don't even know what to call this movie. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a fucking hilarious action comedy about the Israeli spy, like the Israeli counter-terrorist. He's basically, I don't know, Israeli.
I thought it was interesting how
from Mission Impossible,
much they didn't mention the word Mossad or IDF, because that's pretty much who this character is.
Yeah,
He's
that's who
right.
he would have been. Right. Yeah, like the organization he would have been for. Yeah.
In the movie, he's just kind of like Israeli spy. But like in real life, I think he'd be called like a Mossad agent.
Yeah, probably. But they just say Israeli
agent.
Counter-terrorist the entire time. Yeah.
Kind of looks like Little Dicky in the beginning of the movie before he gets into
the big Jufra.
Yeah, he has a big Jufra. Jewish kid.
Okay, yeah, kind of. But this came out way before he ever got famous, so it's where like Little Dicky took his style from him.
Exactly, just inspiring.
But yeah, this movie, man. I don't know, dude. It's just, it's I guess a quick synopsis of the film. It is about, like I said, the Israeli counter spy. He basically just gets fed up with the war and how nothing's ever gonna end or change. So he decides to move to America to follow his dream of cutting and styling hair. Like he basically wants to be the next Paul Mitchell.
Like been closeted because his Israeli parents do not approve.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in like the mid 2000s, if you were a man talking about wanting to cut and style hair and you weren't Paul Mitchell, it was probably like you were probably gay. Or just deemed as gay. Like, if you're just a straight up barber, that's one thing, but to style hair, that's a whole other ballpark.
Yeah, once you say the word style instead of cut, it's kind of becomes a little bit more.
You talk about giving girl blowouts, and it's not sex wise, it's hair wise. It's like, you're gonna start thinking, a figula, as they say in this movie.
Gola.
It's just fucking hilarious. But it's just basically about an Israeli counter spy who leaves to America to follow his dream of cutting hair, which is obviously a hilarious and ridiculous concept, but it is an Adam Sandler movie, so it's definitely in that ballpark of his type of movie for sure.
It's definitely like just full of gags. I feel like the gags, like with most Adam Sandler movies, kind of take precedent over it. It's a series of gags with like a plot kind of built around it. You know?
Yeah.
But you're there to see this, like the Zohan do his wacky like.
I do love some of the recurring gags. Obviously, like something about how like Middle Eastern men love any kind of woman, like any size, any age, and then the whole thing with the hummus. Like
hummus.
They literally eat everything, drink everything. They brush their teeth with hummus, And I love that one joke where they're like, "Oh, he offered me a Blu-ray disc and a thing of hummus." I was like, "What's hummus?" It's like, "It's a tasty diarrhea-like substance." And I'm like, you know what? I get it. Like, because the first time I tried hummus, I was like, that texture was just, I don't know, it was just super weird to me. It was very diarrhea-like, I guess.
This was a movie I felt compelled to write notes for whatever reason, and So I thought this idea was so brilliant that I just had to share it.
Okay.
But I thought that Adam Sandler's character is basically like Winnie the Pooh with hummus. And like every single time he's eating hummus, like it has like the words hummus on it. Like if it's in a giant vat, it just has hummus on the front. Like it always like just lets you know that it's hummus.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
I mean, literally everything. Yeah, they're having dinner. They're putting like hummus in their tea or whatever.
Yeah,
his dad
hummus.
literally scoops a thing of hummus with his glasses and just eats off it. The part I loved was like the toothbrush. Like he's brushing his teeth, and you just see like a thing of hummus on the sink, and he just dips his toothbrush in it.
Surprised he didn't use hummus as like a hair product or something.
He did at one point.
Yeah,
I must have missed
it.
it.
Yeah, he was like
That's how
styling
he was
someone's
born.
hair, and then there was a thing of hummus on the cart next to it, scooped it up and started combing it into
a
there.
moose.
I was waiting for
remember
the hummus to be like used interchangeably for anything else, like as an explosive or to power a car, just something like insane, basically.
Israelis are working on that explosive hummus, dude.
Yeah,
That's,
probably.
after those beepers,
After the beepers.
next thing is going to be explosive
That's
CO2. What's it called? C4.
C4 there.
Hummus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I don't want to share
Better
the
than-
IDF secrets or
Better
anything.
than Neosporin that they've mistaken for Lechwech or whatever. But yeah, so
The accents are very thick in this movie. I'm pretty sure most of them are fake too. Like,
I don't think a lot of them were Middle Eastern, or I don't know, maybe, but
Yeah.
I mean, Rob Schneider was the most convincing Middle Eastern man in the whole movie.
Sure, and he's like Italian, and I think, and Jewish.
He's Jewish and Filipino.
Which just has to be a thing we mentioned about in this movie, because I feel like, which is the fact that it's about Israelis and Palestinians, but there's really not a whole lot of Palestinian actors in it. Like most of the Palestinian characters, I feel like are played by
Yeah.
either like Italian, Jewish, or Mexican
Yeah.
actors.
I mean, back then they were kind of used interchangeably because I mean there was like Latin actors, but they weren't. I mean, whatever. Like they weren't really given like a lot of main roles. One thing I always think about, so there's a movie, Training Day, right, where like whatever. There's a scene where one of them is being held up by like a Latin gang, and like the main dude, he's like Palestinian or something. Like I remember, like me and my brother looked him up, and we're like, "What kind of fucking name is that?" And then we looked up. He's like somewhere from the Middle East, and
They're
he's
all
just,
the same
and he's
to
just like a
me.
Mexican gangster. So like they're used pretty interchangeably if need be.
Yeah, true.
And then,
And back in the day, you had the cowboy movies where the Italians or Jewish actors would play the Indians, because no Indian actors, like, they didn't want to hire Indian actors back then.
Yeah.
Like Native American or whatever.
And
so.
there's probably only like 5, and even then they're like, "Nah, we don't want to give these 5 guys any money roles or whatever."
Kind of reminiscent of that old trope, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious because there's a few scenes, but there was one scene where kind of the Israelis and the Palestinians are getting in each other's faces, and one of you said like, "That dude doesn't even look Palestinian. He looks like Mexican to me or whatever." And like I don't know, half an hour later, whatever, like a couple scenes later, there's like another scene where like they're kind of getting in each other's face, and they point that out. He's just like, "Hey, he looks Mexican to me," and I just thought it was so funny because I've seen this movie, so I knew that was coming, and I just love that you guys pointed that out before it was revealed that there was even a joke about that. So I feel like if we did look him up, he probably is Mexican, and they like wrote that joke in. They're just like,
Or improvised
"This dude looks
it.
Mexican,"
Yeah, or
or
improvised.
improvised, yeah, or
A lot of the
improvised,
humor
yeah.
in here does feel kind of improvised to me, like a lot of Nick Swartzen stuff, and it's,
I think a lot of Rob
feels like
Schneider
it.
stuff is probably like
his
improvised,
stuff, for
honestly.
sure.
Yeah.
Rob Smigel stuff.
But yeah, so I've seen this movie so many times. I don't know why, but this is probably my 4th or 5th time just watching it this year. And I cannot explain why I kept going back to this movie. There was just something about, I don't know, I guess I kind of miss watching this type of sense of humor where it's just so like just over the top action and just like I mean some comedy bits are actually kind of smart and clever, and then most of it's just kind of like dumb and funny. And I don't know, I think I was maybe feeling like a little nostalgic or just kind of missing this type of humor where like you don't take anything about it seriously. You can really enjoy the movie,
I feel like this movie is enjoyable if you grew up with it, for sure, because it's that like 13-year-old, 15-year-old like I feel like that's a big part of the demographic for a lot of Adam Sandler movies, and like once I don't know,
I mean, it's
I
not.
would have enjoyed it if I was 13.
Yeah,
way more.
it's not a smart comedy by any means. Like there's like some smart jokes in it, but
It's trying to be juvenile.
Yeah, it's pretty juvenile. Obviously,
it wants to be.
There's like diarrhea jokes, and there's whatever.
A lot of sex
banging
jokes,
grandma jokes,
a lot
and
of
just
like
stuff like
hip
that.
thrusting and done in a comedic way.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe it is because I watched this movie when I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I'm sure I saw it like the year after it came out, so like 2008, I think. Yeah, something like that. So I was 13? Yeah, so I was 13 when this movie came out, and I don't know, man. It just it just scratches this part of my brain where I like love just stupid fucking comedies that don't need to make sense, you know? Like don't try to make sense of things. Just kind of, you know, if you're gonna go the route where it's just over the top and dumb, just like really like lean into it. Like don't be afraid to pull back. Just enjoy the ride. Yeah, I've seen this movie several times. What this is your guys' first time, right? Both of you,
right? Yeah, it's my first time watching it.
So, all right. So, real quick before we get a little further into the movie, what do you guys think of the movie?
I thought I think my main opinion, just put it succinctly, is that if you watch the trailer, you've pretty much seen like most of the movie. It's one of those kind of movies. You're not watching it for the plot. You're just watching it for the jokes, I feel like.
Right, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And so a lot of the jokes are shown in the trailer, like the scene where he's like slapping the guy with his feet.
Right.
Is in the trailer. Yeah. The scene where like he like puts the choker hold on the kid is in the trailer. And I think those scenes are funny, but like when you this is kind of just a separate thing, but when you put the joke in the trailer, it kind of like diminishes it.
Oh, for sure.
When you first see it, because I already saw that.
That's why on some level I do like to try to ignore movie trailers because some of them are made terrible in the sense that it gives everything away.
A lot of the gags are given away in the trailer for this movie. I
thought I will say if you watch the trailer, a lot of the jokes are given away in it, but honestly, none of my favorite jokes were in the trailer. All my favorite jokes were not in the trailer at all. They're just like smaller moments. Like I love the part, you know, where like that Palestinian dude with the big beard and the big fro, he's just like, ever since terrorists, everyone thinks we're terrorists. And then he's like, hey man, if I was sitting next to you on the plane, I might want to get off too. Like just shit like that, dude. Like I thought like the delivery and everything, it was just a solid, good joke, man, and just stuff like that. So I think there's honestly plenty of jokes in the movie that you don't see in the trailer. And a lot of my favorite jokes you don't see in the trailer. So I didn't mind the trailer. Like some of the gags, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I probably should have let that out. But overall, I think the best jokes weren't in the trailer at all. But
yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But no, it was a fun movie. It was definitely like your typical Adam Sandler kind of humor, especially for that time. It wasn't the more heartfelt Big Daddy stuff. It was like definitely more.
It wasn't click, you know.
Yeah, it was more
like,
silly.
Yeah.
But no, it was funny. It was definitely more of a jokes per minute type of movie rather than I don't know, just like watching it for the actual plot of it and like story. But I thought the whole like Israel-Palestine like conflict was a good addition to it, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I love the scenes when the Palestinians and the Israelis kind of get in each other's face because obviously there's a whole like tension and you know, but they even say like no one cares here, like, you know, that's the war, all that shit's back home. But like I love when they're talking about like politics or whatever, and he's like, Bush is white. These I like to get sticky with, like just shit like that, bro. And then they go into this whole debate about like what like whatever like politician's wife or president's wife is fucking the most doable. And then they get into like a heated argument over it. And I love how Yori, I think that's his name. He's just like, this is what happens every time they talk politics. And yeah, just shit like that, dude. Like some of the jokes, I mean, yeah, they're dumb, but I don't know. That one's like obviously like not the smartest, but it's definitely not the dumbest. Like I think like a lot of kids wouldn't understand the joke, but definitely if you're in your teens or later, you would get it a little bit more.
Something I thought was not very true to life in this movie is there's a bunch of Israelis that own a stereo shop.
Yeah.
And then like just a normal white guy comes in who's the landlord and asks that tells them that their rent's increased.
Yeah.
Usually it's the opposite.
That's more like I'm just kidding. You know what's funny? You know what's weird? I never thought about that. Like there's the fucking, especially in New York, right? Like that's
New York especially.
That's the oldest joke in fucking time, that like your landlord is probably like a Jewish guy or something like that.
But it's the opposite. And it's kind of the bad guy. The landlord is the main bad guy. He's like pitting the Palestinians and Israelis against each other.
Yeah. There's technically there's like a few different subplots in this movie. I mean, obviously there's the main thing that's happening with Zohan, and then there's he's working at he starts working at a salon. He starts practicing cutting hair. And it turns out that there's like basically like a real estate developer who's trying to like shut down that whole neighborhood block essentially to open up a mall. So he's like trying to hike up the rent, but then they were like able to afford it because he's bringing in so much business. And then the going out of business electronics store, which I fucking love that it's called going out of business. Because I feel like I've seen so many stores in real life, not so much anymore, but back in the day, there'd be like a furniture store or like an electronics store that would have a going out of business sale.
Fire sale.
Yeah, but then they'd be open for like another 10 years after that, or something like that. So I just love that they just went straight for the whole, no, we're called going out of business because it's good for business. And I fucking love how all the salespeople there were just gaslighting their customers. And he's like, no, the MP3, it works fine. He's like, look, I can hear it. And then he's like, you need to get your ears checked and just shit like that. Or he's just like, you told me the Sony was 300 because he was like called like a Fujiyama or something like that. And he's like, no, it's Sony Guts, which I guess is like the inside of it is Sony. Yeah, like the stuff inside, the important stuff is Sony, and the casing is just some like off-brand or whatever. And he's like, you're telling me 450, and he was like, the ad says 300. Like, who are you gonna believe, me or the ad? And then he's on the phone telling someone like, yeah, Sony 300. You come to the store. Like, I just love all the gaslighting in the fucking store, man. That shit was so funny because I don't think I've ever ran into someone like that, but I feel like I've definitely seen that around. Maybe like at the swap meet or something when I was a kid. Yeah, they're like, or like Guatemala, because there's definitely people who just like back then just own like little shops, and they'd be like, nah, you're crazy, like this works perfectly fine. Or like one guy's like, no, not waterproof, water resistant. And it's just like, that's true today. Like they can't call phones waterproof because they're technically not waterproof, they're just water resistant. So yeah, I just love the like little like gaslighting moments and stuff. Or when he tries to he like offers him the job, and then he tells him no, and he's like, because this is like a place where dreams die. He's like, he wanted to be hand model, and you see like how he presents things with his hands, very like, I don't know, not fashionable.
They get the hand model in and starts.
You see it, like like the way he's like presenting the items and stuff is very hand model esque, and just shit like that. But yeah. Yeah, so there's that subplot, and then there's a whole other subplot, obviously, where Zohan falls in love with the Palestinian girl who runs the salon, Dahlia. I feel like the way he pronounces it was differently, but
oh yeah,
I don't know, because I would look at it and I would think it's just Dahlia, but I felt like the way he said it was like Dolia, something like that. But yeah, which was played by fucking Emmanuelle. Chriqui, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Chriqui. However you fucking pronounce her last name, I don't know. But for anyone who thinks that name sounds familiar, if you've ever seen Entourage, that's Sloane. That's like E's on and off girlfriend for basically the entire fucking series. And I actually watched this movie before I saw Entourage, so I already had like a huge crush on her before. Before I got into Entourage. Thanks to RJ, actually. He's the one who put me onto Entourage. And I remember I was just thinking like, oh shit, that's the fucking girl from Zohan, basically. But yeah. And then RJ, didn't you have a huge crush on her too? On Sloane? Yeah.
Entourage Sloane.
Yeah. She's gorgeous, man. Yeah. She's like Moroccan or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not Palestinian, obviously. No,
yeah, I remember I looked up, I was like, is she Palestinian? Like, is she Middle Eastern? And then I looked up, she's like Moroccan and something else. I don't remember.
Cyprus or something?
Cyprus?
Like this island off the coast of like Italy, I believe.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, she's like
Greece.
Oh, I know she's from Canada. Well, it says right there. She's Canadian.
She's Moroccan Jewish.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen what she looks like recently, but yeah, she's always been fucking absolutely gorgeous to me. And so I fucking loved her in this movie. This, Entourage, Waiting. I mean, she's been in a bunch of different shit.
She's like one of the main girls in Waiting.
She's the bartender. She's like the lesbian bartender, I think. Like the one that she like just hits on all the hot chicks, basically. But yeah. And then RJ's favorite actors in this movie, John Turturro.
Not my favorite actor, but I do love a lot of the stuff that he's been in.
Yeah.
He's
Fox.
been in a bunch of Coen Brothers movies. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's very interesting looking guy. He looks like an announcer. Like he looks like exactly who he like what he does.
I think you're thinking
Oh, the Let's Be a Great Normal Guy. No, it's not him.
No. That's Bruce Buffer.
Bruce Buffer.
No.
I think that was Michael Buffer.
Michael
Who you
Buffer.
guys
There we
talking
go.
about?
Yeah.
No, John Turturro.
Who's John Turturro?
He was the terrorist. He's Phantom, the one we're talking about.
Who else does he play?
He was the Jesus in Big Lebowski.
Okay.
He was Barton Fink in Barton Fink. He was one of the three guys in
Brother.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He was most recently like Carmine Falcone in the Batman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. If you watch the Transformers movie, he's like the Sector 7 agent.
I never watched any of those, so I couldn't say.
I fucking love his character. He was really fucking funny in those movies.
Yeah,
but,
I know he's been in a bunch of other stuff.
He's been through
He was
shit
in Mr.
through, like-
Deeds. He was
Emilio.
Emilio,
Yeah, he's Emilio. Yeah. It's so funny because like his character in Mr. Deeds has a foot fetish. Like he says like I love feet or whatever, like constantly throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And then in this movie we learn that Phantom, you know, who's a terrorist, he too has dream of opening up a shoe store because he loves shoes. So I love that he went from a foot fetish character to a fucking shoe fetish character or something. But
Right.
yeah. So I just remember thinking that. But yeah, no, John Turturro is fucking. I don't know, dude. I love him. I basically love him in anything I've seen him in.
He plays like side characters. I guess Barton Fink. No,
He's done some main roles, but it's not
character actor as they call him.
Yeah, it's not like a lot. Miller's Crossing, obviously, right?
Right, but he has less. I think he has less screen time in that movie than he does Big Lebowski.
Probably.
Hmm.
Even though he's like an integral part of the movie, like the character for like aside from Tom, he's the character. But
oh shit, that'd be crazy because I really only remember him. Yeah, because I remember we watched that whole video about like Coen Brothers and how they make side characters and like you know like if you really look at the runtime, it's literally like a minute and a half or something.
Right, I think he was Bernie Birnbaum on screen for only like 90 seconds in that movie.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Because he's like the elusive person that everybody's looking for. You know.
Oh, I mean that is true. Yeah. But yeah, he always plays like the best fucking characters. So he's actually in Monk, and he plays Adrian's brother, Ambrose. And he plays like this agoraphobe, and it's so fucking good, man. And,
Oh yeah, he was also in Do the Right Thing. I did watch that.
Oh yeah, wasn't he like the racist pizza shop guy or whatever, or something like that? I feel like I've just seen that clip like a billion fucking times, but I never actually watched it or whatever.
Yeah, that was a movie.
Yeah, Jungle Fever, Clockers, Big Lebowski, Quiz Show. Yeah, no, he's done so much like throughout the years. I fucking love John Turturro. But yeah, so I fucking love like John Turturro. I mean, super Italian or Turturro. That's a super Italian name, and he's playing a Palestinian terrorist. And this movie, you know, I mean, they just have to find who they can find to fucking be even remotely Middle Eastern, I guess. You know,
Right.
You know, it was pretty slim pickings back then, I'm sure. So yeah, they just kind of got anyone to be anyone essentially. I mean, obviously Adam Sandler is Jewish, so him being like Israeli isn't that insane. But yeah, I mean, if we actually looked up who's actually Middle Eastern in this movie, it's probably not a lot.
The guy that they thought looked Mexican, he's actually Egyptian.
Oh wow, yeah, oh yeah,
Egyptian.
It says Ahmed.
Yeah, that's his
First
name.
name is his first name is his last name.
Name's
Ahmed,
so
Ahmed.
nice they named it twice.
Yeah. It kind of does sound like they're all mostly Middle Eastern. I'm just kind of like looking around and I see like Musa Kraish and you know
Ori was Israeli. He was.
I think Ahmed
Eid
is
al-Masudi.
Arabic for Most High, I want to say. So his name would be the Most High,
Really?
I believe. So the highest of the highs.
I never heard that before.
I think that's what it means.
El Sayed, brother. Yeah. See.
Egyptian,
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
most of them are probably like actually like Middle Eastern, either Israeli or like somewhere in the Middle East, except for John Turturro because It's fucking John Turturro, bro. He can do whatever he wants, honestly.
Same with Rob Schneider, man.
Yeah, dude, Rob
The
Schneider,
amount
bro.
of different races and ethnicities he's played. He's
Like a Chinese guy.
Yeah, dude. He played a Jewish Chinese guy in fucking I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
right. I mean, I felt like this character was kind of similar to the one he played in Big Daddy.
Oh,
He
the
played
delivery guy?
Yeah, he played like a
Yeah.
Middle Eastern delivery, food delivery guy. And I felt like it was same kind of character, you know?
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Except this guy's definitely more like angry, you
Right,
know?
yeah.
But yeah, dude, Rob Schneider, bro, fucking chameleon, man. Like he's played a girl trapped in a man's body. He's played an animal trapped in a man's body. He played a stapler. He played like a Cajun redneck, a Chinese Jew. A fucking Middle Eastern taxi guy, a delivery man. I don't know, bro. Like the list just goes on and on and on and on. Yeah, dude, Rob Schneider, dude, one of the most versatile actors to this day, apparently.
Yeah.
I think he's in like an old '90s movie, like a drama or something. Like
He was in Demolition Man.
Yeah, he was
Demolition?
he was one of the,
that's probably what it is.
yeah, he was one of the
actually.
cops. Yeah.
Not a drama then, but yeah, still.
He doesn't know what the 3 seashells does.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy that says that line.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So yeah, this throughout this whole movie, there's this Adam Sandler's character is an Israeli, and he's in love with the Palestinian the whole time. And I kept thinking this is just like Middle East side story.
Oh, okay.
Middle East side story.
Yeah, I got you.
Middle East
That-
side story.
I thought you were just gonna say like Middle Eastern Romeo and Juliet, but that is West Side
that
Story.
is West Side
That
Story
is
right
literally
there,
West
yeah.
Side Story.
Just
Yeah,
with more
exactly.
disco and new wave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, the disco tracks in this were off the charts.
Honestly, bro, the soundtrack to this movie was pretty good. A lot of like '80s hits, it seems like. But yeah, dude, there's just so many little like random quotable things to me for me, like the whole like disco, good, and then sometimes they even like kind of break it up a little bit, like when him and Yori are talking. Like one goes disco good, and then the other one goes disco good, and like disco good, and I don't know, it's just stupid shit like that I fucking love and can't stop quoting. Like I love this movie, but I hate that almost no one I know has seen it because I'll try to quote it and people just look at me like
You're gonna quote
what?
disco good?
disco good.
What's someone supposed to say to that though?
Well, if you've seen it, like
Yeah.
you get it, but if you haven't seen it, then yeah, it just sounds fucking stupid, obviously.
Right. Disco go go. Is that a real song or something?
Disco.
Go go.
I don't know. Yeah, there were a few songs in this movie that I'm assuming were Israeli.
Like actually big in Israel or something
Right,
like that. Yeah. Yes.
I was also kind of thinking like because I remember in The Big Lebowski there's that Hotel California, but it's in Spanish.
Oh,
you know?
right. Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah.
I wonder if some of these are just actual like 80s music or techno music, but it's just like a Middle Eastern version of it.
Okay, so real quick, I was just reading this, and it says the soundtrack contains, and it says near the end, music rearranged for the movie by Julius Dovos based on the song Jimmy, 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 Ah from the Bollywood movie Disco Dancer from 1982. So,
Okay.
so I guess it's like a Bollywood song that they just kind of remixed or whatever. But yeah, it seemed like I don't think it was like original for the movie, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But I don't know. I like I actually like the fucking soundtrack to this movie because I mean I love like 80s music, so it was kind of nice to hear, honestly.
There's a scene where Adam Sandler is like undulating his hips in old ladies' faces while Adam Ant plays.
Yeah, "Strip" by Adam Ant. That was the song.
And
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to die during that scene, to be honest. But I was just like, he's just literally like spraying old ladies down with like goo. And then like having sex with them like in the back room. I'm like, bro, I don't know how much more I can watch this for. It was kind of funny, but it was also just like gross.
Yeah,
like,
you don't
all
really,
these old,
except for when
old ladies.
except for when he gives it to the mom, you don't really
Yeah.
see like anything, It's just like they're in the back room and then you see like things being knocked off the wall or whatever because the fucking room's just fucking shaking.
Yeah, he turns the barbershop basically, or I guess you could say salon, into like a brothel. Yeah, exactly. It turns into
It's
a brothel
where he's the only employee. Well, he's the only whore in it, essentially.
Probably not the only one in New York, though. I'm sure there's like a...
But like they said, he also is good at cutting hair. Like that one guy said, like, my mom says besides the sex, he can actually cut some decent hair.
So are they coming for the hair or the sex, you think? What's the Zohan's real... He's a big stud in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, the one scene where he can't get it up for one of the old ladies, she says,
Right.
"Oh, well, the sex was just a bonus."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she does say that.
Well, does it ever say why he stopped being able to have a boner? Because it kind of happens just like...
Because he fell in love with...
Because he fell in love with the Palestinian girl, so...
Yeah, he didn't realize it right away. It wasn't until later where he talks to her and he gets a boner again. He's like, it's you.
But when did he stop getting the boner? Like, at a certain point, he stopped getting the boner.
I think it was after that picnic
Yeah,
date
they have
that
like
they
a
had.
picnic or
Yeah, I
something.
think it was a picnic date, and then that goes into the scene where with the old lady and he can't get it up again.
And that brings us to today's sponsor, Blue Chew. Just kidding, we're not
Do
sponsored.
we have to scratch that out because we're not actually sponsored by them? No, this
This
is
honestly
honestly
took a Blue Chew, none of that would have happened.
This episode is brought to you by Phantoms, Manuhatuchen, and Hummus.
Yeah, going out of
And
business.
Paul Mitchell, apparently.
Paul Mitchell, yeah. That's a real company,
Hummus
right?
brand hummus.
No, Paul Mitchell's
brands.
Paul Mitchell's a super famous stylist and whatever.
Yeah, dude.
like,
There's a fucking Paul Mitchell store, Paul
School.
Mitchell school, a mile and a half from here.
Okay. I'm not that gay, dude. Maybe a little bit, but...
yeah, that's what I was
I don't
saying.
know Paul Mitchell.
Like Paul Mitchell's like the only famous stylist I ever knew who, because I think he is straight. Like he's married to a woman, so that's what I was thinking. Like besides him, yeah, dude. Like if you were a man and you were a hairstylist, like you're probably gay. Like Vegas odds are pretty good.
Either that or just like the biggest playboy of all time. It can go either one or the other way.
Oh, it's definitely a con.
As is the Zohan
It
proves.
would definitely be a con at that point, where
Yeah,
it's just a
right.
dude pretending to be gay so he can try to hook up with chicks, kind of situation.
Points to that, though.
Yeah, points for creativity. So. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there was like all these just like little gags that I like. I know I said like the hummus one. But then there was a thing with like the drink, the Fizzbola, well, I don't know what they fucking call it. It's like Fizzboble or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And like I love that like they drink it like it's nothing, but to Americans it's like I don't know Miralax or something because Nick Swartzen's character Michael drinks some and he's like. God, he's like, I just repainted the toilet after fucking drinking this thing, and I love it. Like, no, you get used to it. So I was like, so this is just like normal. Like in the beginning, it's just straight diarrhea, and then later it's like a nice little fizzy drink, I guess.
Made me kind of want to try it, honestly. Kind of look like a Doritos or something, but in a weird glass bottle.
Yeah,
A Middle Eastern
I love trying like sodas and drinks from all over the world. So I would definitely grab one for sure. I feel like, yeah, maybe I'll hit up a Middle Eastern market and see like if I can find anything closely resembling to that. Yeah, there's yeah, man. I don't know. Like, I just thought there was so many like good like gags throughout the movie. I love the whole. So there's like a hacky sack championship towards the end or whatever, and it's supposed to be like Israel versus Palestine.
I thought it was Lebanon.
in Israel.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Yeah, it is Lebanon. Yeah, you're right.
They treat it just like, oh, it's the
you see-
terrorist country.
Yeah, well, yeah, you see like Palestinian flags, but yeah, it's supposed to, it's also like Lebanon. But I love how they like went all out with it. Like, oh, there's here's like the celebrities at the sporting event, and it's fucking Kevin James and
John McEnroe,
the bad boy of tennis, And then obviously, have you seen Mr. Deeds? He was also in that movie, so kind of makes sense. He came back a little bit. And then they have like a halftime performance from fucking Mariah Carey.
Right.
Just shit like that. I don't know why.
Which I don't know if that's true to life, but in this movie's universe, every Middle Eastern is in love with Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Like absolutely in love.
Mm-hmm. I get like so the reason why I kind of think they chose Mariah Carey is that it always seems like in American media, like if something blows up in America, it gets really like I mean now with the age of the internet, it's different. But back then when there wasn't really internet, countries would get it way later, so they'd be into things kind of late, or like in compared to American standards. So like as Mariah Carey's fame was dying down, she was probably like a huge hit in like Asia and like the Middle East and just shit like that. Like I could see something along those lines for sure.
I feel like it was probably one of her producers came up to her and was like, "Hey, Mariah, we have your demographics and like the 10 to 13-year-old boy, like they're not buying your album. So maybe if you do this Adam Sandler movie, they might be interested in buying one of your albums." She even says, "Buy my album."
Yeah,
in the
she
movie
definitely
a couple
did
times
to promote her album, and I'm sure if we looked it up, she probably did have an album released sometime that year. But that's such a that's such a random way to fucking promote your fucking album.
Well, it's just
like you said,
increasing your demographics.
Yeah, like her demographic is definitely not teenage boys. You know, it's fucking
girls.
I don't know, teenage girls and women. Whatever. It's probably like 13
art teachers, and
like 30 something or whatever. But yeah, I just love like small like details like that they like kind of went out with this like sporting event or whatever. The hacky sack thing like had fucking disco breaks and shit throughout the thing instead of just, I don't know, like a 7th inning stretch, you get a fucking disco break. But yeah, I don't know. I do wonder why Mariah did this movie. It probably was to just promote her album.
Yeah, I love this movie had a bunch of cameos. Random cameos, yeah, like the Mariah Carey one. There was, I mean, he wasn't much of a cameo. He was actually kind of a regular role, but Michael Buffer.
Michael Buffer.
The famous
he's like the bad. He's one
boxing
of the
announcers. Yeah, let's get ready to rumble, dude.
Yeah, he's the whatever, the real estate developer, right? Who's trying to basically gentrify the neighborhood and build a mall with a 300-foot roller coaster or something like that. You know,
his henchman is Dave Matthews apparently,
yeah,
which is kind of a weird cameo.
The rednecks that they hired to fucking like start a false flag operation.
I don't know how you guys caught that.
Dave Matthews, man.
I think it was RJ.
Catch that. It was RJ who caught
Dave Matthews.
I don't know how either.
Big Dave Matthews fan.
Yeah, right. Are you a Dave or RJ?
Big fans call him Dave, man. Yeah. We just call him Dave.
But I think I wonder if the rest of the henchmen were his band too, because like he
That's
had this
what I was wondering
ragtime
too. Yeah,
group of hillbillies.
I guess I just didn't know what Dave Matthews looked like, but I remember RJ was like, "Is that Dave Matthews?" And I was kind of thinking like, well, one, I was like, I don't know, but I know I've seen him in other things. And the other thing is like, yeah, and I now pronounce Chuck and Larry. It was literally a role with no lines. He was just like this gay kind of like dresser, stylist, whatever. And then, but in Just Go With It, he's actually kind of a main character who has a bunch of lines in the movie. So I thought he was just kind of a lesser known actor who just does kind of like Happy Gilmore movies or Happy Madison movies. I mean, but yeah, Dave Matthews, apparently he's also an actor, kind of. Oh.
Yeah, he plays like a bunch of. He plays a hillbilly who's like the leader of a gang of hillbillies who are like the henchmen who dress like rabbis and they dress like Palestinians, and start burning shit down to get the values down or something.
Yeah, I love how like what they call him. He's just like, oh, we got this Black Pride parade coming up, but we could just move that, or like because we're supposed to disrupt the Black Pride parade. And he was like, but we could just move that. He's like, I don't know how you move a parade. He's like, oh, it's just a phone call or fucking whatever. And I love how he's just like, thank you for giving us this job opportunity or whatever. He's like, I usually don't like rich people, but you're all right. You get it. He's like, I hate whatever. He's like, the blacks, the browns, the queers, whatever. He's like, but you're all right. You and Mel Gibson or whatever. He just throws in Mel Gibson at the end for some fucking reason. And then later, you kind of get like a small callback when Zohan is wearing like the goggles that fucking identifies anybody apparently, and it says like this guy's name he hates, and it literally is just a giant list. It's like blacks, browns, gays, Jews, whatever, Middle Eastern, Chinese, Japanese, blah blah blah, and it just keeps going like puppies, and then likes Lethal Weapon 1 to 4.
No, it said 1 to 3 specifically.
Oh, 1 to 3?
It didn't say 4. And then it said What Women Want, which is also another Mel Gibson movie.
Yeah.
Is he not in the fourth one, Mel Gibson?
I'm pretty sure he is in it.
I'm pretty sure he is. But I don't know why, like, that one specifically.
I could have sort of said 4, but I could be wrong.
No, I was watching them as they were like, it was spelling it out one by one. It was like Lethal Weapon 1, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3, and I was expecting Lethal Weapon 4, but it got What Women Want.
Just a red herring joke or whatever.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen What Women Want?
No.
It's actually a pretty good like romantic comedy or whatever you want to label it as. I used to watch it on TB. I think TBS was the one that played it a lot for some reason when we were younger. Yeah, I don't know why he would exclude Lethal Weapon 4. I mean, I gotta watch Lethal Weapon 4 now, yeah. Oh, I forgot fucking Henry Winkler makes a random appearance in this fucking movie.
Right.
George Takei, Bruce Villain. So I don't really know who that is. I've only ever heard of him. I know he was like on Hollywood Squares a lot. Chris Rock, he was the fucking taxi driver in the very beginning.
Jamaican taxi driver.
Yeah.
I think he's Jamaican.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
Maybe some Caribbean island.
Yeah, with the fucking dreads and that like that kind of
accent.
Yeah, that accent. I would definitely just say it's fucking Jamaican.
The director Dennis Dugan was the homeless man that reminds Zohan that he left his underwear in the bathroom, and
that's Dennis Dugan.
Yeah, that's what it said. That's the only homeless man I remember from the movie.
Yeah,
he's credited as homeless man.
Oh shit! I had no idea. That's crazy. Now I wonder how many other times he's like just made an appearance in. Because isn't Dennis Dugan the guy who does most of Adam Sandler's movies?
Pretty much from the beginning. I think like Billy Madison
all of them.
and all the way from beginning with Billy Madison, he started doing.
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure he's done almost all of them. I don't think it's all of them, obviously.
Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, Benchwarmers. I mean, he wasn't in that one, but that was a Happy Madison
he did
production.
Beverly Hills Ninja, National Security, Saving Silverman.
You ever see National Security?
Yeah.
Okay,
I love National Security.
That's a great movie.
That's how Martin Lawrence and Steve Zahn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking love that movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah. What? Okay, so sorry, I'm just looking at this list, right? Okay. Jack and Jill, he got the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Director. Fine. Okay. But the fact that he got nominated for Worst Director for I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Really? Like, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry? Like, that's insane, man. That's actually a really good fucking movie. Like, I don't know what else came out in 2007.
I disagree.
But I can't think there was something. I would have never even have thought of putting I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry in, like, one of the worst movies fucking categories.
I'm more shocked about the Big Daddy one.
Oh, wow. I didn't even fucking see that either. Holy shit.
Yeah, he was also nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Director on Big Daddy.
Yeah. That's
to be
insane.
honest,
That's
it's not
insane.
the Razzies are kind of dumb because you get movies like The Shining was nominated for the worst picture. It's like, okay, like there were just no other movies that came out that year to where the fucking Shining was the worst one. So sometimes they just do weird picks.
Well, I remember
I'm sure a lot of these are for controversy too, to get people talking about it and stuff.
I can see that, yeah. But I do remember, like, not obviously, I don't think The Shining is a bad movie at all. But wasn't there a thing like when it first came out, it wasn't very well received? And kind of like as time went on, movies. Like as time went on, I kind of realized like, oh, this is actually a really good horror movie or whatever.
I think it's the case where the general public probably liked it, but the critics were probably just like, it's all right. It's no Barry Lyndon.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it didn't hurt or help that Stephen King hated it but I know he also hates almost all adaptations of his movie or of his work, so I'm not too surprised by that. One thing that I also really love in this movie is, so it's PG-13, and PG-13 always has these rules about like,
this one's unrated, the one that we watched.
Yeah, we watched the unrated PG-13 version somehow. I don't know how that works, but
I think it is PG-13. Well, like the theater version.
Yeah, the theater version is PG-13. Yeah. But so the unrated version, which is the one we watched, I've seen both the theatrical and the unrated version, and literally the only differences are there's certain scenes where you see things like, so the old man who's like, hey, you forgot your underwear. In the PG-13 version, you don't see him walking around in the underwear. And then one scene in the salon where you see the older ladies in like the dominatrix outfits, that definitely wasn't in the theatrical version either. So it's just stuff like that kind of like, I guess got clipped. But yeah, so PG-13 has a lot of rules about like curse words and which ones you can use and how many times. So I love that in this one, it seemed like to get around the rules, they kind of almost say curse words essentially, because you hear like, oh, what is these shizbola, you know, and just stuff like that. Or instead, you know, they couldn't say like fags, or they say fagala and just stuff like that. So it seemed like it was just like a way, or you know, penis was panakam, and it was just like a funny and clever way to get around the fucking what is it, MPAA ratings or whatever, because they probably would have gave it a rated R if they full said those curse words, but
you can't have a rated R Adam Sandler movie because then it's going to tank in the box office.
Yeah, unless it's Uncut Gems,
right?
Yeah,
or Punch Drunk Love,
or Punch Drunk Love. Yeah,
yeah, because those movies aren't like, those movies are for a wider audience, I would guess.
Not a wider audience; it's more for like.
No, that's
more
literally not for a wider audience, because
opposite.
the restricted rating would make it
it's
for less of an audience.
Mature audience. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought it was funny and a clever way to just kind of get around those rules. I actually like the way they say like penis of Hanakam, and you know, they even say like the snatchala instead of snatch. It's just stupid shit like that. But my favorite was fagala. Like he tells his dad that he wants to be a hairdresser. He's like, you fagala? And I don't know why, but it always cracks me up how like they say that, and like it was like a constant thing throughout the movie. Like he reveals that he wants to cut hair to somebody, and he's like, oh, Zohan, Fagala, like just stupid shit like that. But I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a clever whatever workaround.
I don't have much to say about this movie, to be honest. Like I'll just say I wasn't a big fan at all.
Sure.
I'd say I'd probably like Jack and Jill a little bit more.
I was thinking that same thing, man.
Yeah. It's equally as funny. I don't know.
But this one didn't have Al Pacino in it. And honestly, so that was a huge part of why I love Jack and Jill.
To give a little backstory about this Jack and Jill thing. Belly was no, we didn't record that one. Belly was pushing that movie for a while, and I was pretty adamant on I don't want to watch that fucking movie because I was there when it came out, and I remember it just looked like the worst fucking piece of shit ever created. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And then, you know, we started this whole thing where, you know, we're picking movies, we're recording podcast episodes. And Bentley finally brought it over one day. I was like, or did you bring it over? Do you own it?
Yeah, I own it on Blu-ray.
You own it, right? Yeah,
Blu-ray.
Yeah,
not 4K.
It's Dugan is probably sitting right next to like Roger Corman in my collection.
So I was pretty adamant that I didn't want to watch this movie, but I was also like, you know what, like Bentley, if you like, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna like actually like veto this movie. Like whatever, let's just watch it. And I still pretty much fucking hate it, but the only redeeming factor of Jack and Jill is the Al Pacino storyline. Because, I truly think if that wasn't in there, that movie would be fucking unbearable. I don't think I'd actually be able to sit through that whole movie. But
see,
Al Pacino saved that fucking movie, dude.
I'm of the opinion that Jack and Jill is about as good as any of his other movies, like The Waterboy.
Wow, that's such an insane take, dude. Like,
I can't agree with that.
Dude. Bentley, I don't think me and you disagree
the same
on
level of comedy.
No, absolutely not.
I think you have to separate that late '90s group of his movies away from the rest of them. The Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, Waterboy.
Give me like 90s to like mid 2000s, mid to kind of late 2000s. It was pretty solid work. Like it was pretty solid, consistent work. Obviously, it kind of starts fading out in the 2000s. I think it really fell off when he signed that fucking Netflix deal and he just started doing.
Oh yeah, that's
like, Jack and Jill was before that.
Yeah, Jack and Jill was before that, but that. I could have sworn that would have been a fucking Netflix movie, honestly. Like that level of whatever that fucking movie was, I would put it more in his like Netflix category than I do his like 90s and early 2000s category.
Yeah, there's definitely from every generation of his movies, I guess. Not generation, decade.
Era.
I guess era. Yeah, there you go. Iteration. there's always some good ones, or there's at least a good one.
Every once in a while, sure, yeah.
But for those late '90s Adam Sandler, like it was just banger after banger after banger.
And then Little Nicky happened.
That's the one. That's the one.
That could be the one.
You know what's crazy? That one comes up a lot in that conversation about worst Adam Sandler movies. I guess Little Nicky's always on it. I was trying to click on Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
And then
I don't know. I never really watched The Waterboy growing up, or
so you watched it
other ones
later in life?
Yeah, The Waterboy.
Yeah,
and I know people quote Gatorade. I don't know why that's funny though.
Can I get a water and scotch? Hold the scotch. Did you just make a joke, Bobby Boucher?
Did you just make a funny?
Did he say funny?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just watched it the other day. Like, did you just make a funny, Bobby? And it was like, why, yes, I did. Yeah.
That or you can do it.
Yeah.
Right,
that to me, that's like not even close to being like the funniest parts of the movie. You know, there's like so many better moments. Like when he fucking gets mad at his college professor and he's like, no, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Because he literally looks like fucking Colonel Sanders. And then, or when he calls like Captain Insano, and he's like, I see you profuse a lot of sweat, and I thought maybe you could use the water boy. And he's like, how old are you, kid? And he's like, 8, 9. And he's like, I'm 37 or some shit like that. Like, I'm 35. And they just fucking like laugh at his face. But yeah, there's so many better moments. And like, even though like I do kind of quote Gatorade every once in a while, I think there's a lot of like, dude, fucking Kathy Bates, right? Kathy Bates, the mom. Dude, like,
Mama.
Mama. Like, I always go, someone says, like, oh, who made this? Like, oh, that was invented by the devil, because that was her whole fucking thing. Everything, like, Thomas Edison.
The funniest part about the movie.
Thomas Edison didn't invent electricity. I did. Thomas Edison is the devil. And just shit like that. So I don't even say, like, Gatorade is, like, the funniest moments or whatever.
I've heard Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider actually talk about it in that movie specifically. When they wrote "You Can Do It," they were like, Adam Sandler called him, was like, "This is going to be on T-shirts." Like when they wrote that line, they fucking knew what they were doing. Like, they knew that they were writing a catchphrase, and that sort of like just catchphrasey style of comedy is very prevalent in Adam Sandler movies, where it's just kind of like a catchphrase or whatever.
Right.
I mean, back then in comedies in general, you kind of needed that one catchphrase or whatever.
Shagadelic. Randy,
baby. You make me Randy, baby. Yeah, just shit like that.
Phrase comedy.
Yeah. So okay, real quick, I'm kind of looking at Adam Sandler's kind of timeline of movies. And from like his main films, dude, it was like The Waterboy, Big Daddy.
What about the off
and
the
then
boat
Little
one?
Nicky is kind of where like it fell off. What
the boat one? Overboard. Yeah, you got to mention
I
Overboard.
think that's his very first one.
His first movie.
Going Overboard.
Going Overboard. Yeah,
I know about that because I used to look at the IMDb bottom to like 250 back in the day, and that movie was like on the top 10 or something for the longest time. Yeah,
that's a Bobcat Goldthwait one, right? Or
no,
whatever?
That's the second one. Well, I don't know.
Oh, Shakes the Clown. Yeah, you're right.
Going Overboard might be as well, but I know Shakes the Clown definitely is.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember I heard Adam Sandler talk about it on the Rogan podcast that he just
Shakes
came
the Clown.
The episode. He was talking about like his first movies that he's ever done. And Adam Sandler, Burt Young. Oh, so he did star in the movie. But yeah, it's had like Billy Zane and I mean those are kind of like and Billy Bob Thornton in a small role.
Alan Covert's in it.
Who's Alan Covert?
Isn't that the main guy from Grandma's Boy, who's also in all the other Happy Madison movies?
I always forget his fucking name. Like I really forget a lot of the Happy Madison crew names, to be honest.
Airheads, that is an amazing movie.
Probably one of his first serious, kind of serious roles.
Coneheads,
Airheads. It's not serious at all. It's definitely a comedy. It's
Dog Day.
It's Dog Day Afternoon, but instead of robbing a bank, they're holding them hostage. It's a radio station because they want to play their music. But it's a comedy.
I do want to watch that movie because I never actually watched it.
I've been wanting to like pick that for my weekly pick, but it's not on any streaming, and I just can't find it. Like,
okay.
I'm probably just gonna have to like drop like $20 and getting a DVD copy of it. Not even a Blu-ray. Blu-rays are like $200 for it on eBay.
Fuck,
on
dude.
eBay, man, it's crazy.
That's a tough one. I never seen Mixed Nuts, but I saw that Steve Martin is in it in the mid '90s, so that was pretty good. But yeah, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Bulletproof. That's pretty like hit or miss depending on what you're into. The Wedding Singer. I mean, Dirty Work. It was a very small. Yeah, that's like an uncredited.
By the way, none of us has ever seen the Wedding Singer. All three of us.
Right.
Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid, but I don't remember shit about it.
Yeah.
The Waterboy,
when I
Big
was like
Daddy,
7.
and then 2000. It was Little Nicky came out, and that's kind of where everyone goes. I don't know about that one.
Little Nicky.
There's like it's pretty mixed reviewed now because I know a lot of people who actually love Little Nicky, but I know the internet very much hates that fucking movie. So
Yeah, because then that's when he was like, okay, I got to do something good and redeem myself, and he did Punch Drunk Love.
yeah, yeah. And then Punch Drunk Love with fucking Paul Thomas Anderson.
After Little Nicky.
And people said like that's
that was his first major role after that. The rest of them were all cameos.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he was in fucking Mr. Deeds. I love Mr. Deeds.
I used to like that movie.
Master of Disguise.
It's a fun premise, dude. A dumb guy gets $1 billion or whatever, and
Yeah,
just
because it's like
gets
his
to do
great
whatever he
uncle
wants.
like passed away or whatever.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's a
That's like-
remake of an older movie.
Right. Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, I think is what it's called.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah. But yeah, 8 Crazy Nights, which was actually a really funny movie too. So yeah, dude, he was like
Crazy Nights.
oh, the
old man. That movie sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie.
I haven't seen it since middle school, probably high school, but I remember it was actually kind of funny for what
There's
I
a
thought it was.
scene where there's a song happening and they're inside of a mall, and it's just it's product placements, just like that whole scene is just filled with like ads basically because he's singing in the mall and like all the food, all the restaurants start like singing along.
What is a mall?
Yeah.
I see what you're
Big
saying,
commercial.
yeah. But yeah, like the dude was like still like on a pretty good hot streak up until the middle 2000s. Anger Management was fucking great.
No.
50 First Dates, that's a solid.
Yeah, okay. That's probably like last
romantic comedy.
movie I like of him.
Spanglish, that's kind of more of a feeler, but still. The Longest Yard.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
definitely a different type of Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, yeah, for
Longest
sure.
Yard.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh?
Longest Yard?
Yeah.
Think so? I remember watching it, thinking it was an Adam Sandler movie or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I
He's
just
a
don't
little
think
bit
it
more
has the
serious in it.
I just don't think it has the same
Yeah.
type of humor in it.
Yeah, it's not your typical. Yeah, it's definitely not your typical Adam Sandler humor for sure. Click in 2006. That's when it started getting more like feely and stuff. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry is fucking great. I don't care what the fuck the Raspberries had to say about that or whatever, dude. That shit was fucking awesome. I think he did kind of start falling off in 08 because I see Bedtime Stories, and that's when he started going more into the whole like for kids of this new generation, I guess. And then you see like Funny People, which is like obviously like more like a serious movie, more drama than anything. And then Grown Ups, Just Go With It. And then Jack and Jill was 2011. So
Back to back, Jack
Yeah.
and
That's My
Jill,
Boy.
and That's My Boy.
yeah,
Wow.
it's tattoo. Yeah, that movie's fucking stupid, but I still love it. But yeah, Hotel Transylvania, which was a fucking box office smash. Mm-hmm. And then 2013, 2011. I feel like is definitely the beginning of that because then we see what 2014 was fucking or 2013 was Grown Ups 2. 2014 was like Blended.
Sandy Wexler. When does Sandy Wexler come?
It's like probably like 2017 apparently. Mm-hmm. He did Pixels in 2015.
Pixels, yeah.
The Ridiculous Six, because this is when he got his fucking Netflix deal. Paul Blart 2, he just kind of was doing anything and everything. The Meyer
produced
War
Paul
was,
Blart, right?
Yeah, I think he was mostly a producer. I think so. But yeah, this is kind of where it started really, really falling off. Like his whole like Netflix deal was just a fucking, I don't know, disaster in general, but some people really like those. But then he fucking did Uncut Gems in 2019, which is such an insanely impressive performance from him.
I feel like his whole career is kind of a disaster, honestly. But at least he has Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems to like be like he can point at those and be like acting. I'm an actor. See that? And then like I respect him for that.
It's definitely like the ones that he points at to be like he's like like I'm an actor or whatever. Like I'm a serious actor, right? Or I can be a serious actor.
Yeah, dude. He's
But
great.
like honestly, dude, like I think most of his career, except again for like this last few years, like it's not like really anything I'll laugh at in a bad way. Because dude, like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, fucking The Waterboy, whatever, Mr. Deeds, Anger Management, blah, blah, blah. Like, those are, like, relatively fucking hits. Like, the dude was making, comedies are cheap to make, and they used to love making them because they're cheap to make, and they had a pretty decent fucking return. Like I just saw Zohan. I think it said it had a budget of like 90 million, and it ended up making like over 200 million. Yeah. Which, like, for the time was pretty fucking good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high budget.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, 90 million seems pretty high.
Yeah.
Maybe I read that wrong. But maybe that also included marketing, because a lot of the time it doesn't include marketing when they talk about, like, the budget of the movie. But, yeah, I mean...
It's high for comedy, too, man. That's, like, producers must have been very confident in that one. And rightfully so, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe because it had more explosions than most comedies or something. I don't fucking know, but... Yeah, I don't know, man. I love Adam Sandler. He's definitely like, it's almost like how I view kind of like Eminem, where I'm like, God, dude, your first fucking like 3 albums were everything to me, and then at one point you kind of just made some stuff that I'm not really listening to.
Then you got sober, tried to better your life.
Yeah,
we don't give a shit about that anymore.
Yeah,
now he's
shit
just
like that.
Now he's just kind of like a nostalgia act where he's like, remember I used to be an awesome rapper, guys. Like. His newest album especially had a lot of that.
I didn't listen to it, so I have no idea. But yeah, it's just stuff like that, man. It's just he just started going more into like family friendly stuff, which is fine, but it definitely took a hit in the quality department for sure. Again, until fucking boom, Uncut Gems 2019.
The thing is, Adam Sandler knows at this point that he isn't trying to impress critics. He has no interest in impressing critics. There's no reason for him to impress critics.
There's no reason for him to work.
All. Yeah, like, that's true. Also.
There's no reason for him to work at all, dude. He could
go on vacation.
He could have retired a long time ago, honestly, if he really wanted to. But now he's back in the stand-up game, doing tours and stuff.
Yeah. Did he watch his newest stand-up special at all? No.
Did you?
No. Not really.
Yeah. No. It's been a while since there's been a stand-up special that I've actually wanted to watch.
I've never known him for stand-up. I mean, I know he's like been in stand-up and like he's
before SNL, like that's how he got discovered, right? It was. I mean, just like anyone else at that time, basically. But yeah, man, I don't know. I fucking love Adam Sandler. He's kind of like, it's almost, I don't want to say like Nick Cage in the sense where it's like he has so many good movies, but now he has so many bad movies at the same time. So what are we calling him? Is he a great actor? Is he a terrible actor? It's that fucking episode of Community all over again.
I think all his movies are bad, so I'll be that side of the.
Yeah, you're definitely alone on that island for sure, man. I don't really know anyone who. Wait, no. I feel like someone has told me that they don't like Adam Sandler, but I can't think of who that is right now. Was it Mario? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I love Adam Sandler, dude.
Most people our age love Adam Sandler. He's the frat boy comedy quintessential.
Yeah. A lot of people like older than us, younger kids. I have no idea. I don't even know if people really, if anyone really likes these like new Netflix movies or whatever.
Yeah, like, I can't imagine they're doing very well. I don't know. No one talked. Howie Halloween, wasn't that one of them?
Yeah,
or something?
Hubie Halloween.
Only one of them got like a direct sequel, which was Murder Mystery. They did a Murder Mystery too, and then I think that's about it.
You're not going to my bat mitzvah or something like that. It was with his daughters.
Oh, you're right. You are so not invited to my bat mitzvah.
Right. Yeah.
That's a movie. Apparently,
I think he produced and wrote. I don't know if he acts in it. Maybe.
Okay.
But he's never. I don't think he's ever going to try to make a movie for the critics. So as long as he keeps acting and doing a good job at acting.
One thing I'm upset about his career is that he was supposed to be the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards, but unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, he was not allowed to portray the character.
He was probably fucking doing You Don't Mess With the Zohan.
Yeah, honestly.
You could have played a better Jewish character.
What was Inglourious Bastards?
2008.
2008, right?
I'm almost certain of it, yeah.
2006 or 8.
Okay, I think you're right. I think it was either Zohan
or Punch Drunk Love.
Or Funny People.
I'm going to go with Zohan just because that makes a better story.
Yeah.
He ditched one Jewish character to play the Israeli counter.
No, yeah, because I watched the Rogan episode and I was actually really listening to it, but my fucking memory is dog shit. I could have sworn, I remember it was, I want to say it was either Zohan or it was, what was the other one I just said?
Funny People?
Funny People. That he said, like, I had to do one or the other.
Funny People's a great one.
I do. I really like Funny
Happy
People.
Madison, but it's it does a good job at kind of poking at Adam Sandler's film career too, because like they make fun of this, the
That's what
type of movies he does.
Yeah, that's what I love about it is like he was able to not only make fun of himself, but kind of makes fun of himself in almost kind of a harsh way with his own career. Because like the movies he did in the movie really do seem like movies he would have done in real life. Like the one where he gets transformed into a baby again or whatever. It's called like Redo or something like that.
And they did Jack and Jill like right after that, which is very similar kind of.
Yeah. Just shit like that, man. Like it's just so believable. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I fucking love this movie. It's stupid, but I mean that's kind of the point. It's just something you don't take very seriously. You just take it for what it is. It's just a dumb, over the top action movie with some kind of like fart gag kind of thing, some smart jokes, but not a lot. And then just incredible performances from people like John Turturro and Emmanuelle, Chriqui, whatever you fucking pronounce her name. But yeah, this place just has like a weird soft spot in my heart personally.
I think Israeli accents are kind of interesting. They sound French to me a lot of the times.
Really?
Like a lot of the music that I was playing, I was like, are they speaking French in this song? But it's like a weird mix of French and Russian or something, like the Israeli accent.
Interesting.
I talk like Israeli right now.
Yeah. Well, that sounded more like Russian to me for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's accent in this movie is a little hammy, a little bit forced. You're not watching it for
for sure. He definitely went pretty hard on the in the accent on that one. Mm-hmm. Also, probably one of the best shapes he's ever been in for a movie. Like he was in pretty good shape for this fucking movie. Like kind of had like a little six pack going on.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah. And then unfortunately, I heard him on the Rogan podcast talk about that he did want to do a sequel to this movie, but it just like kept getting pushed off and it didn't happen because. Well, it was kind of releasing this movie the first time was kind of rough because they had the idea and they were working on it. And every time they wanted to kind of announce it, there was like something between like Israel and Palestine just kind of, or Gaza or whatever, kept kind of getting escalated. So they never thought it was a good time to release it. Until one point where they're like, look, we have this movie ready. We just gotta announce it and just go with it. And then it was kind of the same thing with the second one. Like he was working on these other things. And then kind of tensions kept rising, and then he says he can't do it now because there's no way he can ever get in that good shape again. Is what he said. He's like I'm comfortable, man. He's like I play a lot of basketball, but he's like I'm not lifting weights. I'm not gonna do a sit up. Like I'm done. He
does his movies to hang out.
Guy.
He does his movies to hang out and go on vacation, not to like lift weights and go on a diet.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But yeah, so I mean, but I'm also kind of glad he isn't gonna do a sequel because it probably would have ruined it for me, honestly.
You just do it where he's like really out of shape and he's like past his prime.
He's like retired. He's a retired.
Yeah, retired.
Now.
He's like eating.
And now his son or daughter is a fucking
just scooping hummus into his mouth while he's sitting on the couch or something. You can definitely like work around that, perhaps.
Maybe, but I like as is, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of final thoughts on the movie. I don't know, man. It just has a weird soft spot in my heart. It's personally one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. Am I going to say it's one of the best Adam Sandler movies? Probably not, honestly. I don't think I would ever really try to make that argument. But to me, it's one of my personal favorites. And I think anyone who likes Adam Sandler or his movies or just likes dumb action comedy movies where you can just really turn off your brain and enjoy it, you'll probably enjoy something like You Don't Mess With the Zohan.
Better than Lil Nicky. Not as good as Jack and Jill.
I want to do a poll on fucking Jack and Jill versus You Don't Mess With the Zohan now. Because I know you guys obviously have like a soft spot for Jack and Jill or whatever, but
it's gonna have its cultural reevaluation. People are gonna be like, actually, it's not that bad.
I've never wanted to slit my wrist so badly. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Al Pacino in that movie, yeah, it would have been
probably like Adam Sandler's character. I'm like Adam Sandler. I'm a crazy version of Adam Sandler. It's my Aunt Jill.
If this movie had Al Pacino, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, but can we say that about any movie?
Yeah.
Like throw Al Pacino in the movie.
Probably, yeah.
Probably would be significantly better. Yeah, for sure. No, it's just our opinion, you know. It's just to me, I think it'll be a funny thing between me and Bentley's friendship because he always brought up Jack and Jill, and I'm like, ugh. And then I would bring up You Don't Mess with the Zohan. He's like, yeah, no.
I've heard good things actually about Don't Mess with the Zohan for people I like the nostalgia critic, if you guys know who that is.
Yeah.
He's repped this movie before. And I was
really? Okay.
Not that he's like a cultural like critic that's worth like.
What did Roger Ebert say about this movie?
Oh, if it's not a movie, you can only guess.
Yeah.
He's like, it's no Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, but it'll do.
I was just actually telling my brother about that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he gonna watch it now?
He was kind of interested in it, but I don't think he'll actually watch it.
He's all the boobies in it?
I think he's going to watch... I did. I think he's going to watch Spun, though. He seemed pretty into it.
Spun?
Yeah.
Spun.
On the positive... Wait, what did it say?
Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars.
Don't mess with the Zohan.
To be called a laugh scuffle, and laugh is spelled with 2 F's, so I don't know.
That was Time that said that.
Oh, Time. Oh, my bad. Okay. Good job correcting me on that, RJ.
It's probably because Scuffle has 2 F's in it, so it's just
called it a mighty hymn of into vulgarity, and either you enjoy it or you don't. Ebert admitted, I found myself enjoying it a surprising amount of the time, even though I was thoroughly ashamed of myself.
That sums it up.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't think of a better review of that. Like, that's probably the best. That's the best way to describe this fucking movie, honestly. And then, I saw something about Zionists. What did it say? A.O. Scott of the New York Times said it was the finest post-Zionist action hairdressing sex comedy I have ever seen. I do feel like if this movie started just started trending again out of nowhere, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this is fucking Zionist propaganda."
I bit my tongue this whole podcast, Emilio. Don't let me stop now. Just kidding.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot how pro-Zionist you are, Bentley.
That's probably where most of the budget came from, is from the IDF. Just kidding.
Oh, so it came from us then.
Yeah, exactly. We gave it to Israel,
yeah.
and then Israel gave it to like AIPAC, and then AIPAC gave it to a senator, and then the senator gave it to like, I don't know, some
all
producer.
of the money.
And this has been the 3 Hacks in a Movie podcast.
All right. I've been Emilio.
I'm Bentley.
And I'm RJ.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.